Kenya's President William Ruto has decided to withdraw a controversial finance bill following violent protests in the country. That bill would have raised taxes to help the government lower its foreign debt. According to the Kenya Medical Association, at least 23 people were killed during the protests. You see some of that here. Ruto announced he would not sign the bill during an address to the nation earlier today.
Listening keenly to the people of Kenya, who have said loudly that they want nothing to do with this Finance Bill 2024, I concede, and therefore I will not sign the 2024 Finance Bill, and it shall subsequently be withdrawn.
Barbara Plett Usher, with our partners at the BBC, joins us now from Nairobi with more on this. It's a stunning turn of events. Mass protests on Tuesday, the president withdrawing his initiative by Wednesday. How are people responding to that?
It is a very dramatic course reversal. And I was triggered, I think, by the deadly violence yesterday because Mr. Ruto has been quite firm in his decision to stick with the bill, even though there have been demonstrations against it and a lot of opposition in Kenya. But with the results of the protest yesterday, the police opening fire on protesters who stormed the parliament, more than 20 killed. I think there's been quite a lot of backlash against that. And we were getting to some pretty dark tensions here in the country. And so he's taken a step back. How people are responding? Well, the protesters have a plan to protest tomorrow. That was supposed to be to prevent Mr. Ruto from signing the bill. Now he's not going to do so. But we've had some initial reaction on social media from prominent activists who've kind of dismissed the measure. They've said things like, this is a PR stunt. You know, we're not going to get our dead back. He can't be trusted. He's got an agenda. We'll still be out on the streets. So one would have thought this would diffuse things at least somewhat. But it does seem amongst some of the protesters there is still a determination to go out on the streets.
So a determination by protesters, but it seems like there is a certain level of suspicion as well. What then does this do for the issue the president was trying to address in hitting the country's foreign debt? What's the expectation on that front?
Well, you know, Mr. Ruto was quite clear about his rationale for the finance bill. He said these taxes were necessary to fund the deficit, to lower the debt. He also said that the money would have been used for development programs for farmers and teachers and students. So he went into quite a clear defense of it. Then he said, but clearly the people are not behind me, and therefore there would have to be a certain amount of austerity. But he said there should be a national dialogue with the young people, but also with various institutions to discuss how to do it. I think, you know, there was quite a strong opposition to the tax increases, not just from the young people on the street, but from the church, from social institutions, even from some businesses who were sort of counseling them that these were quite drastic tax increases. And there was also quite a strong reaction to the violence yesterday, again, from religious and social organizations, but also from Kenya's international partners who condemned the violence and urged restraint. So I think all of this together caused him to finally step back from the tax bill. But he did say he was still committed to have Kenya being fiscally responsible, getting sovereignty over its assets and so on. The way forward, though, how it's going to do that is not clear.
All right, all of this not over yet. Barbara Plett Usher, thanks for being across all of it for us. We appreciate it.